Uh, Caroline Gertler, have you ever seen a flying saucer and or a ghost?
Well, I thought about how I would answer this question because I know that you do ask this, and I will say I have not, but I don't discount the possibility that I might or that I have without realizing I have. And actually, I didn't realize you asked about ghosts because the other night I had this very creepy experience where I was sleeping and I heard someone whisper, Caroline, in my sleep, and it really freaked me out where I was like, it kind of jarred me awake. So maybe there was a ghost. I don't know. I probably thought it was one of my children coming into my room in the middle of the night.
Maybe it was Neil Diamond just playing very quietly from somewhere.
Yeah. So, no, I don't think I have. I can't vouch to say that I have, but I might. So.
I think you need to listen very carefully, and hopefully the ghost will be, helpful and mention ideas for future novels. That would be tremendous.
Yeah, I do try to think about it when I go to sleep at night. It puts me to sleep at night. If I try to think about my work in progress, I fall asleep immediately, and I hope that I'll process something in my sleep. But I do not I don't wake up with revelations. So, but I'm sure that something's happening there.
Well, as of yet, but now that you're going to be a twice published author, any muse out there with revelations to share with the world knows that you're a good conduit. Yeah. Anyway, something else that I had read that I wanted to make sure I ask you about is because you're writing about art, you've got a background with art history, you've been giving tours with the Met, but you say that you can't draw to save your life. Have you at any point attempted to transform yourself into an artist? And is that something that's possible, say, for somebody that wanted to be a writer but doesn't have a natural proclivity for that? Do you think it's possible that there are steps you could take to transform yourself?
Is it possible that someone who doesn't feel like they can write could become an artist instead? Or
somebody that doesn't have a natural ability to write, struggles with it greatly, or somebody that can't draw. Is there a way to become?
I thought you meant would someone, a writer, become an artist? So you're saying someone who feels like they don't have a natural proclivity to write, could they become a writer? That's an interesting question. I think, gosh, I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I did have an experience once in college where I met someone who runs like a drawing center, and he was like, anybody can learn how to draw. You just look at the thing and don't look down at your paper and just let your hand move, and you'll, and it doesn't seem to work for me. I don't know that I could become an artist. I do like doing process art with my kids, where we take different materials, like you put washi tape down and then you use tempera. Put washi tape and tempera paints and kind of make, sort of abstract things. That's fun to do, to play with color and whatever, but I could never draw a good image of a person. And I never want to say I could never, but as far as learning to write, I guess, I think anybody can learn how to write. I think you have to have the desire and the drive somewhere inside of you if you want to do something creative, right? Like you can't just say, I want to be a writer, and then, there has to be such a strong drive that you practice it enough that you get to be able to get to the point of doing it well, right? So I think, if I really wanted to learn how to draw a figure, I guess I could practice enough that maybe I could get there. But I haven't tried because I don't really have that drive.
What was it that drew you to art, that you wanted to be involved with art without having a desire to be an artist?
That's another, so many great questions you have. I think I'm just a very visual person, even though I don't do art. I enjoy looking at it. I love colors and patterns and textures and images. I'm definitely a visual person, in terms of that stuff. And then also I process through reading. I don't process auditorially as well. Like even having this conversation with you, I'm like, wait, I have to make sure I'm listening and processing what you're saying. So, like for example, if I was in a lecture in school, I would have to I'd have to write down everything the professor would say in order to process it, because if I just listened, I wouldn't process. I had to have a visual representation of what was happening too. So I think I'm just drawn to art in a visual sense. And I do feel like when I talk about art that I'm somewhat of an imposter because I don't really know what it's like to make art. And the people who do know how to make art or who have tried to make art have a leg up in terms of discussing art because they really understand the process. You know, like I can talk about writing and talk deeply about the process because I know what it's like to compose words and write, but I don't really know what it's like to paint. So I sort of feel a little bit out of my depth when I'm talking about, analyzing a piece of art in that sense.
I tell you what, next time we do this, I prefer to write all of my questions down so that they're nice, polished, and you don't get all this talking in circles flab that I've been doing the entire conversation. So next time, I will write perfectly constructed questions, and then you'll be able to read them, and we'll both be 100%.
No, I love this. I mean, but if you sent them to me, as I said, I hate doing research, so then I would look at them and I'd be like, oh, I can't think about this. I'll just do it off the cuff. So